Welcome back everybody to a new video. The blood is running through the streets right now. Everything is going down tremendously. That is probably nothing new, but of course we are going to look at the charts. I gave you two updates yesterday and I updated you in the meanwhile on Twitter and Instagram. Those links in the description, so please feel free to follow me there. And now I'll give you another update and I will most likely update you for the second time later on today. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the charts because we have quite some damage and some crucial levels that we need to look out to. As always, we're starting off with the BTC-USD pair. Today we are going to wind down from higher time frames to lower time frames because if we have such a big dump, it is important to zoom out and to determine the so-called market structure to see where we are right now on a much more macro time frame, so that you don't get caught up in these much more smaller time frames like the 15 minutes or the hourly. As you can see, we are of course dumping down here on the weekly. We had a weekly close below the ribbon. I said then I want to see a big pump up inside the ribbon again, and then I'll forgive Bitcoin what happened. Just like we had here, a dump down, the next one was a big pump up that surprised everyone and we went higher. That didn't happen, so now we are in week number 3 after this one. So this week 1, week 2, week 3, and we are now dumping down. We are making this big falling wedge. So yes, we are bearish when it comes down to the ribbons, and yes, we have been dumping down, but we are still kind of in this falling wedge. If we're looking quickly on the monthly, then we still have some room to go to the ribbons, but yeah, so far this looks pretty bad on the weekly. So on the weekly and all the time frames below, we are just in bearish mode. I cannot tell you any different. If we're zooming in on the daily, and then let me get the ribbons out of the way because they take quite a lot of space and can be a little bit confusing. Then we're seeing that we have been dumping down. Yesterday we had to pump up, that was a fake out. Now we're dumping down, and I said, well, this might take some time, 1 or 2 or 3 days, that we would hit the bottom of this wedge. To be honest, I was not expecting it. Let's zoom in a little bit more. On the 4 hourly, that's actually even more clear, then you can see a little bit more into detail. So we were testing the resistance here multiple times. I said, I don't like it, we might gonna go dump down because it's too hard to break through. A breakthrough you want to see just boom right away in one candle. On volume, of course, that didn't happen. Then we had the surprise breakout here. I thought, well, okay, that's a bit of a surprise, didn't expect it, but okay. And then I want to see a pump through this level or a retest and then going higher. That also didn't happen because right away we just were crashing down completely. If I just little bit withdraw this line because this is a little bit too low, then we also see that we have more touch points here at the bottom, so this is a little bit better. Then you see we have been bouncing off. Now you could interpret that as a bullish sign, but the matter of fact is that we don't see a lot of volume of the bounce so far. The candle did not end up in red, and now also the second 4 hourly is also going down, so we might be testing this level multiple times. To be honest, the way that the market is structured right now and the rapid pace that we are in right now, that we're going down and we're testing these lower levels, I'm afraid if we are not bouncing up anytime soon, as in today, tomorrow, on Sunday, or latest Monday when the new week starts, is that we are going to break this level. If that happens, then I might have some very, very bad news for you. Because if I then zoom out and we look at the broader picture, then we're seeing that there is not much air in between. So then we're getting like this part. So then I'm afraid that we are going to test this part right here, so these levels. So that would be among the 28 to 31,000. That is quite a significant drop from here, because if we do so, you could say, Ray, that is kind of only 10k from here, but because we're going lower and lower with the price levels, the percentages are rising, so the percentage drop are getting more and more and more. So let's say in the bullish scenario, in the most bearish scenario, we're going down to, let's say, 28,500, 28. We're talking about another 25 to 30% drop. That is tremendously, of course, from the 38,000 that we are right now. And if I'm then taking the top where we were, and then I take approximately 10k off, so let's say 66 to 56 ish, Then we're oh no, sorry, took the wrong. Oh yeah, that was the correct one, sorry, fat fingers. Then we are talking about 16%, so you see that is way less. So that is getting pretty bearish. So like I said, I want to see a bounce up from here in the next few days. If else, it's the elevator to hell, and we're going all the way to 28 to 30,000. Let's quickly head over to Ethereum. Same kind of story. I said already for multiple days, this is the major block where we are in right now. This has been touch points multiple times. I want to see it hold. Quickly, first on the weekly, we've seen now that we are going into the ribbon. I remember when I said, oh, when we're here, we actually still have quite some move to dump down before we really are going into super bearish mode. Well, 3 weeks later, we're here now. So as you can see, we are now trading below the lowest ribbon. Let me zoom in a little bit so that's even more clear. So the lowest ribbon is at the level of 2800. Right now of recording, we're doing a little bit less. And the bottom of the weekly was as low as 2700 and a little bit. So that looks pretty bad. If I'm zooming in on the daily, then it of course becomes a little bit more clear. So also here, the weekly is kind of the last line in the sand. All the other time frames were already trading below the ribbons. You can see here very clearly that we're right now testing the bottom of this box. It's also coincidence with the resistance line that I had here, 2780 or at 2800. The next line in the sand for me would be then the 2400-ish. We had some touch points here. Also, this is quite a significant drop from where we are right now. You can see that it's 14%, which is quote unquote only $400. If we do that from the top again, then we're seeing from 48 to let's say 44-ish. Around here, there was 9%, so you can see that this ramps up quite a lot as we are going down. So we have 9% versus 14% over the same kind of price move expressed in dollars. So don't get fooled by just the dollar amount. Really look at the percentages and trade with the percentages. That is something that helped me a lot. So these are the major price levels. Let's hope that we're holding right here. Then of course we have the resistance lines up here. What I'm looking at. That will be then the first one is the 29 to 3000, then we're going to 31 to 3200. I am going to be honest with you, it looks pretty bearish. There's just no power of the bulls. If the MACD goes into the green, it's always a very short period of time, just a few candles, and then we're dumping back into the red again and again and again and again. Are we in a bear market and we're going tremendously down and this was it and the line goes off for another year, 2 years? To be honest, I do not think so. This is just a heavily manipulated market. And what I mean with that is that the market is still very small. So that means that just a few very big parties with a few billion on the bank, they can move the market up and down. They can really dump and pump the prices, even from the majors. So if we don't have many more billions flooding into the market, then I'm afraid that this will continue to happen and they will just try to really dump the prices on you. Of course, China, one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin, they said that it's illegal to mine, but they hold most of Bitcoin. How corrupt can you be? And they also, of course, are dumping and pumping, although they will never admit it. So that's just kind of the game where we're still in. It's just that we're lacking still maturity of the market. So these kinds of moves, if you can't handle them, get out of the market, buy an ETF, go to sleep, come back in 10 years. But this is just crypto. This is what happens. Also gives you great opportunities. If you still have some USDT left or dollars or euros or whatever, you can still buy the dip. But I know that after buying a dip of 50 times, at a certain point also that comes an end in sight. So that's what we are looking at right now. No surprise, across the board we're going down 10, 12, 15% or even more once we're scrolling down. So blood in the street, usually that is a sign to buy, but like I said, I am staying very cautious. I'm not trading right now. It's very wicky and the market is just very weak. I do not see any signs of the bulls picking up yet. We need a tiny miracle here for BTC to bounce off and to go higher. and then I think the alts will run together with BTC, but I'm staying very cautious. That was it for now. Please again do me a favor, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update. If you want to see in the meantime more content, then follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, links in the description, and see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, bye bye.